Hi there, it's Mr.T back again, and many thanks for tuning in. To kick things off, first I'll take you down the memory lane with some snippets from scenes out of a previous video called Pros and Cons of Working in Dominican Republic. Yet what will be different about this video is that I'll this time assume that you've already decided to work down here and focus on how to actually succeed by giving you 16 smart business tips. As a treat, in between giving you these tips, I'll also squeeze in some quick interviews of some of the small yet successful business owners from this region, and we'll analyze what they might be doing smarter than their competition. Okay folks, we'll get started shortly. Tip 1. Don't work or do business down here if you really don't have to. What do I mean by that? Here's a little analogy for you. Imagine success is filling a truck with nuts. In modern countries where there's good economies, you're filling it with coconuts. Down here, often it's peanuts. So my point is, for the same amount of time, effort and energy in modern countries, good economies, you can make a lot more in a short period of time than you can down here. So if you have some kind of income stream, a pension, an online income, or you got a contract with a company or several clients to bring in an income with real money, that could be Canadian dollars, US dollars, euros, don't bother coming down here chasing the pesos or the dollar, because if you have that money to bring down here and you can focus on relaxing, enjoying and having fun, that's the way to go. Alright, even though I said in tip number 1, if you don't have to work down here, don't. If you're still determined, I'm going to open a business, I'm going to do it, then at least pick an industry that has little or no competition. Find a niche. What's needed here? If you don't know, well, contact me, and then I may be able to help you out on that one. So don't come down here and open another real estate office, pizzeria, or restaurant, or bar, unless you believe you have a serious winning edge, which most believe they do, but they still don't when they finally get in there and compete with all the ones that are already here. So it's much smarter to do something that's not done down here. And there's a lot of things you can see in your societies overseas, whether it's Europe, Canada, US. There's different products and services they have there that we don't have here yet. So why not pick one of those? Tip 3. The only way to make decent dosh down here, money, is to work for yourself, to be self-employed. They say about jobs, it's the journey of boredom, or you just obey the boss, or you're just over broke. So why go down this boring avenue again if that's what you were sick of in your home country? Down here, you can put a stick in the ground, call yourself a scuba diving company, and they'll believe you're good at it straight away. Well, obviously you've got to prove yourself, whatever you choose to be. But the real money is in being self-employed. No jobs here pay hardly anything, because most businesses will either choose a Dominican, which is willing to take many times less, or they'll try to get you on just a little bit better than what they're willing to pay a Dominican to get the extra expertise. But when it's you running the company, you make all the decisions, you decide what the profit margins are, and you're probably going to end up making a lot more money for the same time and effort. Tip number 4. Do you work from an office, an open door business, or do you work from home? And there's a huge difference in what may come your way based on that choice. Now, if you work from an office or a shop, or you have a tennis club or any kind of open door business, it's not just the general public that can walk in at any given moment and beggars and hustlers. No, it's also bureaucrats and pretend bureaucrats. So you get the people from different departments of the government, and then you get the ones that are pretending to be from there with a plastic badge, demanding you to pay X amount of money today or they're going to shut down your business. I mean, that's a lot of frustration to deal with. It's a lot of hassle, waste your time. Where if you instead choose to work some kind of business from home, well, you can cut all that out, shut your gate, and nobody knows you're in there doing your business. You can also choose whether you register your business straight away or not. Maybe you're only there working for a few months and you want to fly under the radar. I didn't say that, did I? Okay, you can also choose whether you put your logo on your vehicle, on your motorbike, on your caps. Maybe you just want to work one-on-one with other foreigners with a business card, and you can fly under the radar that way for quite some years. Anyway, there we go. Okay, tip 5. Avoid hiring locals if you don't need to. Now, that may sound harsh, especially if you're Dominican watching this. Please just remember, us foreigners didn't make the laws, and if the laws ain't fair, well, we will want to avoid being ripped off, whether that's from the government or by the staff that we hire. From my experience, those folks down here who run businesses where they hire Dominican staff, a lot of the newbies, they don't even realize how well informed these staff members are about labor laws. So they'll pretend for the first 3 months or 89 days to be sweethearts, hard-working and dedicated, and literally on the very day of the 3-month limit, they will start not turning up for work, turning lazy, being complacent, being arrogant, having an attitude, everything that a boss doesn't need when they're running and building a business. So if you can either get a foreigner in who's just here for a period of time with a good attitude, or you don't even need that staff member, or you have a family member who can do it instead, that's the way to go. Tip number 6, work your business. There's a saying, the speed of the boss is the speed of the crew. So if you're going to open a business, why are you doing that? To make money. That's the only reason you would exchange time, effort to be away from your loved ones, isn't it? So work it. It works if you work it. Turn up on time for your own business. Be there. You know, especially those kind of businesses where they have a till and people are coming off the street buying things. That could be a restaurant, could be an ice cream shop or whatever. Especially down here, it's a pirate type mentality. So a lot of the people you hire, they'll be ethical if you're around, but if you're not, they will skim the till. And that's why I just wouldn't feel comfortable myself having that kind of business. But if you're going to be there, inspect what you expect. The other thing about working your business is work hard and then play hard if you need to afterwards. But I see a lot of people come down here, they buy a bar, they sit in the bar and they moan and complain that there's not enough customers. But are they willing to do any advertising? No. Are they willing to think about other ways to market their business? No. So why have that business in the first place? So if you're going to have a business, work it smart and work it hard. Work at least 12-hour days if you want success. I learned that years ago from a guy called Brian Tracy. So you can choose whatever 12 hours you want. Just work 12 hours hard, 6 days a week, and then you will become successful at it. And if you're not willing to do that, well, maybe consider minimizing your lifestyle, and then maybe you don't have to have a business. Everyone, I'm with Christian, the owner of Del Ice Cream in Sosua. Thanks for being on camera. Now, Christian, how long have you run the business here so far?
8 months ago.
8 months?
In last April.
And why did you choose the ice cream industry?
I think the soft ice cream was missing in Sosua.
So you are around here, you check things?
Yes, I buy the 2 machines in Italian importer in Santo Domingo, and the machine was in Sosua 4 months later.
Okay. And what did you used to do before that?
I was in textile business in France.
That's very different.
Yes. So.
Okay. How's it going for you? How's the business running?
Oh, the business is like this, like that in Sosua actually. We hope it will be better in the future months. But now it's a little quiet.
Now you seem to have a lot of products, and I've seen you keep expanding your portfolio of products here. So you just like coming up with new things, or?
Yes, you have Belgian waffles, original Belgian waffles. We have also French crepes, salt on the sugar, and now we have also churros, Spanish churros, and milkshakes, American milkshakes.
Excellent. Well, I wish you all the very best in making this not only one shop, but having them all over the country in the end. So
Yeah, I hope that the business in Sosua will be good in the future.
all the very best. Thank you. Take care, Christian. Tip number 7. I kind of mentioned it in the last one about promotion. Promote your business. You know, it's like a chihuahua. It runs much faster than we do. Not because it's got longer legs. No, because it's got 4 of them. What if you did more than just word of mouth? That's the best one, everybody says. But is it the only one? No, there's many more marketing legs. And over the years, I've been in sales, and I've outbeaten many salespeople just because I work all the legs, not because I'm a better salesperson, but I choose to have word of mouth. You have flyers, you can be on the radio, you can be on the internet, you can be in newspapers, you can be in many different places. People will come to you with offers. We have this magazine and you can go in there and you'll reach X amount of people. So my advice is either be nowhere and just hand out some flyers and keep your overheads down, or be everywhere, which the winners normally choose to do. There's something called CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. If you're going to be in business, especially in your industry segment, to be the best. And if you're always into constant and never-ending improvement, you probably will end up being the best. I know for myself, I'm always thinking of new ways to tweak my business. It's like a radio station. If it's like, sometimes it just takes a little bit of tweaking, and then la 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 la, you hit the station because you bothered to think and analyze your business and tweak it till it worked really well. That's what winners do. Okay, tip number 8. Make sure you get contracts, insurances, and any other things in place that you need to have in place legally to be able to have staff and not get into trouble. So the first thing I would do is get a lawyer who understands labor laws and employment contracts. They're going to give you a lot of good information. Also, I've met people down here, after the 3-month period, they're fighting with some employee that wants them to pay them out a lot of money, and I said, I hope you have a contract in place with them. Well, I didn't think that was needed at the time. Well, it is now, isn't it? Stupid goose. I mean, get a contract place. Prevention's better than cure. Do they put emergency exits in aeroplanes because they want to crash? No, they put it there just in case. And that's the same with an agreement, because a lot of people down the track have selective memory of what was promised or said. So you don't want that. You want to be able to say, hang on, Billy or Freddie, clause 18 specifically says boom, 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 and then he or she doesn't have a leg to stand on. Okay, so what starts right, continues right. What starts wrong, ends wrong. Tip number 9. Answer folks quickly. Show commitment, integrity, and build relationships. Answering folks quickly is very important. Let's just say it's Frank is calling me. Frank has taken the time to bother to call me. Maybe he has something important to tell me. Maybe he can do something for me. If not, at least I can retain a good friendship and respect from him. But answer his phone call, his message, and do it quickly. If they've chosen you over somebody else, or maybe they can do something for you in the future, or maybe you can retain that reputation, isn't it worth getting back to him quickly? How many flies does it take to land in a bowl of soup before it goes from delicious to disgusting? 1. How many times do you have to ignore a guy or lady's message before they go from respecting you to disrespecting you? Once. So answer that message and do it quick. Having integrity in business is an all of the time thing, not just a some of the time thing. So honor your word. There's a lot of people, especially down here, when times are good, oh yeah, they're full of talk and they seem to honor things. When times are tough, 8 months of the year we have a low season here, they start messing people around. Personally, they only mess me around once, and they are basura, as we call them here, rubbish, garbage. Okay, I will never deal with them again. And they've just earned themselves a lifetime worth of bad publicity, because I know myself, I would talk a lot to my friends about who's doing a good job and who's not, who's a very nice person who's an arrogant bastard. So it pays not to poop where you sleep. Tip number 10, treat everyone with kindness and respect. I've kind of touched on it already, but I just wanted to bounce this one off you. What sounds best in your ears, even if you don't know these words? Warm fuzzies or cold pricklies? Warm fuzzies just sound better, doesn't it? Do you give people cold pricklies? You should always smile. If you don't feel like it, tell the truth in advance, because you probably will become happy again. Smile to people. Say hello, hola, be friendly. They will respect you, like you, and recommend you much more than they will if they meet an angry, bitter, grumpy, arrogant person. If you're doing business down here, you can't afford not to be at your best. Tip number 11, a very simple one, but incredibly important. Honor what you promise. What do they say about promises? They're like babies. Fun to make, but for some, hard to deliver. Don't be like that. Be a man or a lady of your word. If you are always honorable, the word will get around town. You have one chance for a good first impression. Remember that one? And if you're working, especially around a couple of small towns like Sosua, Cabarete, everybody gets to know everything about everybody very quickly. Don't come into these towns and walk on people, tread on toes, because people will find out very soon that he or she is very arrogant. They went back on their word. They didn't deliver this. They didn't do that. One day they treat me nice. The other day they rip me off. I mean, is that really how you plan to become successful if you come to work in a new country? No. Now, Jackson, what made you come to Dominican Republic in the first place? And secondly, why to set up a business here?
My first trip here was in 2010. Friends told me about Dominican Republic. I'd never been here, never heard of it. So visiting for the first time, they told me all about the fun, the girls. So I came and visited and loved it and fell in love with it in 2015. Moved here, started off a year in Santiago, a year in Puerto Plata, and been here 2 years in Sosua.
And why did you choose to set up a business?
Well, I constantly purchase nice things. I like luxury things, shoes, clothes, bags, and I just noticed many people here not have an opportunity to purchase luxury items. You have to go to Santo Domingo, or maybe someone purchase it from the United States and bring it over here. So I just decided, bringing things over, selling out my apartment, selling online, and started to just collect more and more items, and decided, let me open up a store and just, go for it.
How's it going so far?
So far it's going great. Being the only luxury store here on the northern coast, pretty much probably the only luxury store in the country. The people are gravitating to it. They enjoying it. They loving it. Once they come in and see the product, they are amazed. They're happy that they can actually find a product at their disposal that they can get local right here in their country in Sosua.
So if you were to give one piece of advice to other people thinking of coming down here opening a business, what would it be?
Well, I would say pick something or find a niche that is not saturated. I think restaurants, bars are so saturated. You got so many people doing the same thing. Try to find something different, something new, and that takes a leap of faith, because if it's not been done, you're going to be the first one, and that can be scary sometimes. But I say take a chance. Take a chance. Do not be scared. Take a leap of faith and try it out.
Tip number 12, be a business builder. In business, I've found there's only two types of people. There's maintainers, which often go out of business when there's some kind of change in the marketplace and they can't handle it. And then you have builders. Builders doesn't mean that you're using blocks and mortar. No, it means you're constantly stretching your mind to how you can improve and grow your business bigger. And if you're constantly, like I said, trying to improve yourself, and you're tweaking your business, and you're training your staff, and you're focusing on everything that could grow your business more profitable, and you change the things that are not working, don't get an ego, And don't be too rigid in your approach. They say trees survive in nature because they are flexible. So be flexible in your approach, but do stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And just because you can't see the profit straight away or other people around you, believe in your dream, believe in your vision. It's like when they build a skyscraper. You can't see the view till you've built the foundation. And then the building comes out of the ground and it starts getting exciting. So on that note, let's move on. Tip number 13, never miss an opportunity. Or there's a couple other sayings I can remember. If you snooze, you lose. If you're not fast, you're last. So often success comes down to being in the right place at the right time with the right product or service at the right price and the right attitude. And then, ching ching, things normally come your way. And especially when you're working in an area like Sosua, Cabarete here, where you have tourists coming for 4 months of the year, 8 months of the year, it's low season. You can't afford to think the way you do in a marketplace where it's really happening or really affluent. So you got to take every opportunity and seize it. Tip number 14, start with more products and services than less. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me give you an analogy just so you understand it correctly. This is the fishing analogy. If you wanted to catch fish, compare that to getting sales. And you went to a lake with one fishing rod and you baited it with garden worms. You may or you may not catch fish, or you may not catch that many. But if you turned up with 7 fishing rods and you had different baits on each hook, then you may find out after half an hour that all the fish you're catching comes from the 2 fishing rods that you baited with garden worms and some kind of larvae. So now you can focus more intensely on those 2. In other words, with products and services, if you're running a bakery and you found that the Danish pastry and a certain type of bread was your best sellers, well, expand that product or those products, do more of that and maybe do less of the ones that ain't selling. The marketplace will always tell you what it wants. People are very kind in general, and if you're kind to them, then they come out with suggestions. Oh, can I suggest something? Why don't you get these or those into stock as well? So if you listen to the marketplace and you head in that direction, then you are stimulating something called supply and demand. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Let's move on. Tip number 15, if you don't like sales, don't work or do business down here. Now, why do I say that? Because the whole country is based on sales, and any business is based on sales. Don't get into business if you're not willing to sell your product or service. And if you're no good at it, how are your staff going to become good at it? So you have to have an attitude. First, you got to become like the Dominicans. They're natural born rejection specialists. Because if you quit or give up too easy, you're certainly not going to succeed. It takes time to make mistakes and learn from them. So you got to be persistent. That's the first step. Secondly, learn a little bit about sales. And it's not actually hard. Another word for selling is convincing. Children are the best at it. You know, when they want a lollipop or they want an ice cream, first of all, they're natural born rejection specialists. They persist. And then they also use things. I'll even clean up my room when I come home if I get that ice cream. What's he or she doing? Selling, convincing. So when you have a good product or good service that you believe in, that cuts out 90% of the sting of having to do sales anyway, because you believe they should have it. And that's a huge one. So once you believe you have this good product or service that somebody else should have, then do the numbers. Leads, bookings, meetings, sales. It's a 4-step procedure I've followed for years. You got to get contacts. That's the leads. You got to book appointments or have them come into your shop. And then you got to present what you have. And then you got to close the deal. And if you want some training on sales, I can consult on that as well for a price. So just contact me at infohub-educatedtraveler.info. But there's a 6 simple step formula to closing deals. And I can teach you that. Tip 16, be professional. Have business cards, flyers, websites, etc. Now, a lot of people down here they dress really bad. You don't have to dress in a shirt and a tie. That's the cool thing about doing business in the Caribbean. Literally, for me, it's nice sandals, some shorts, a nice short sleeve shirt, and then we're good to go. But it doesn't stop there. If you have a business where you're trying to sell a product that's worth a few thousand pesos or dollars, at least have a business card. And if you can't afford that, maybe you shouldn't be down here in the first place or doing business. So get yourself some business cards. And if you say, well, I don't have a designer, well, they charge maybe 500 pesos to design you a nice business card, but get it done. What does the prospect think of you if you don't even have a business card? Next thing, if you have a product or service, have a flyer about it. It doesn't take a lot to get something designed, and you can buy a folder or get it laminated and show people. I mean, how do you feel about walking into a restaurant where the menu looks like toilet paper that's been crumbled 50 times and they haven't even bothered laminating it? Come on, we're better than that, aren't we? And then in general, anything you want to promote to other people, get it done up and electronically. Maybe in Dominican Republic they're a little bit more relaxed about whether you have a website or not, but it is a nice thing. It's an electronic brochure. A lot of people don't have time to look at your stuff right now, and they'll say, oh, do you have a website or something I can look at? And then have that URL on your business card. Or get at least a free Facebook page and turn it into a business page, and don't mix your personal life with that. Be professional. Everyone, I'm here with a gentleman called Phil in Sosua at Playa Alicia Beach. Thanks for being on video, Phil.
You're welcome.
Now, Phil, you are what I call a home entrepreneur down here. I've already interviewed a couple of people in this video who open shops, has staff, but you just work yourself and your clients.
Right.
So explain please to the viewers exactly what you do.
Well, I trade stocks online, mostly on the US market, and I've always done that actually. You know, I started trading when I was like 18, and so when I decided to move here, I kept doing it. But I haven't started from the moment where I came here, you know. I've always been...
You were doing a little bit of filming down here for companies and making videos, is that correct?
Yeah, actually I've been TV journalist in France, and when I came up here, I kept doing it a little bit, but then, you know, I'm not doing it really anymore.
Okay, so a lot of people, they come down here, they start doing something, and then they find out they prefer to do something else after a while. But it helped you start out down here doing the whole filming thing.
Yes, because it was a way for me to get to meet people as well, you know, and get something to do, yes.
Okay, so you figured out your niche, and now you're also running courses doing that.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain about the courses you run?
Well, what I do is I teach people how to trade, and then I get them ready for trading. Everything is ready on their computer to start trading, but it's also important to practice a little bit, you know, before getting ready for using your own money.
Right.
So that's what I do, and it's a way for me to meet people and get, you know, sometimes meet friends and things. And
so if somebody was down here trading, what sort of money could they pull in just having an internet connection and a computer?
Well, that depends on how much money you want to invest, and if you want to be a day trader or a swing trader. Day trading, which means that you will spend all day selling and buying, but that means a lot of discipline, you know, because you've got to be very...
But could you make $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 or more?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what the viewers are potentially curious as to know what you can make working from home. Do you advertise at all?
No.
And may I ask the reason for that?
No, because, you know, I'm not doing that for the money. I'm just doing that for to meet people, you know, and not to be always lonely in front of a computer, because that's what I do all day. So it's a way for me to meet people and things. But
and do you like living down here?
Yeah. For me, it's nice. Perfect.
So you've developed a lifestyle.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Just to finish off, one tip, if anybody was thinking of coming down here doing business, what would it be?
Well, for me, I think it's important to have something that either you have an income, a steady income that comes from your country, maybe you are retired or something. Otherwise, you have to find a good way, a steady way to get money here.
All right, great comments. Thank you very much, Phil. I appreciate your input for the video, and all the very best with your business and your life down here.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, folks. That's all for this time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got a lot out of the information in this video and the people that I interviewed. Also, remember, I now have the new InfoHub service. So in the description below, you'll find the link. It'll save you thousands of dollars, hassle, and time if you're coming down here either as a tourist or as an expat. So check it out, infohub-educatedtraveler.info, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Blaze the fuck up.